Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well. Today's video I will be talking about how I handle it when people stare at me. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please stick around. Before I get into this video, I want to say that these opinions and experiences are my own, and of course they will vary from person to person. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Blemmy. I'm a 35-year-old woman living with spastic cerebral palsy. For those returning, thank you so much for joining me. I sure do appreciate your ongoing support. Okay, so today's video kind of goes hand in hand with last week's video where I showed you guys how I walk. If you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend that you stop now and watch it. I'll link it up here below. I'll link it up here, not below, but up here. And you can have a look at how I walk day to day. Because I walk so differently from the average normal person, people react to me in various ways when I'm out in public. So this video will be all about how I handle the gawking and the staring. First off, I often feel like I'm either completely invisible to people, they don't give me the time of day, they won't look at me, they won't acknowledge me. Or, and on the very same day it could even happen, I'm regarded as a complete sideshow freak. Excuse my terminology, but that's the only way I can describe how I feel. Sometimes people stare and gawk at me so hard, literally no joke, they will be staring so hard that they will literally stare and they will walk into a door or walk into a post or walk into someone else. They are so fascinated with how I move. And that just still, I don't understand it. It's 2021, people. How a person walks should not be that exciting. But it is, right? It is. I guess people are curious. I have been stared at pretty much every time I've been out in public for as long as I can remember. Can wear on a person, and how do you deal with it? How do you reconcile the staring? Well, I've come up with some ways that have helped me deal with the staring. First of all, it depends highly on my mood that day. If I'm in a caring mood, if I'm in a don't mess with me mood, it just depends. So people, if you're gonna stare at me, you better hope I'm in a good mood. Otherwise, if I'm in a terrible mood and it's some big a-hole who should know better, who just stares at me, gawks with their mouth open, looks at me with such disgust and distaste, like, how are you even alive on this planet? Literally, sometimes I will look at them and I will stare back at them and I'll say, listen, I can see you and I'm not blind. That really takes them aback sometimes. And sorry. I mean, I don't do that often. I try not to be rude often, but sometimes, it just grinds my gears. Like, stop staring at me. You know better. There are more interesting things around to look at. Look at that. I mean, that only happens once in a while, but sometimes it just gets me. Which leads me to a kind of staring I don't really mind so much. You all know it. I think you do. Is when the little kid, 2, 3, 4 and up, will stare at you because they're actually curious about you. And oftentimes the parents will be like, oh, little Johnny, don't stare, it's rude, don't stare. And you can hear them say that. A lot of times I would and sometimes I do, I stop and I tell them, oh, that's okay. And I tell them, I was born this way, this is just how I walk. And I try to explain it to the child because they are genuinely curious. And if you don't feed that curiosity at that young age, I feel like they are the ones that are to become the adults that stare inappropriately later on in life. So when children stare, it's just a genuine curiosity. They're trying to figure out the world around them and you don't necessarily fit into what they know. And so they stare. And it's a really good educational moment. And it's a really good educational moment to tell that parent that, hey, It's okay. They're just curious, and here's why. Let's not hide disability. Let's not shame it. Let's tell them and be open about it so that it's not something so fascinating later on. It's just normal. But staring, no matter who it is or what time of day it is, it can get really tiring. And to be stared at all the time, every time you're out in public, can wear on a person. So I have come up with a defense mechanism for staring that has kind of hindered me in the past, but also saved me. Let me explain. I generally, when I'm out in public, I wear blinders like a horse. I am focused in on what I'm there for. I don't really look at my surroundings too much. And that's just so I don't notice the overwhelming sense of people looking at me, because I think if I acknowledge and I felt everybody looking at me all the time, it would probably literally drive me crazy. It's really an overwhelming feeling to know that so many people are curious about you just living your daily life. A way that's hindered me, though, is I'll be so focused in on what I'm doing, so focused on where I'm going, that people I know will stop and try to stop and say, hey, how's it going? Or when I was single, people would try to get my attention that way, and I would literally go right past. And sometimes it can be seen as rude and off-putting. Really, I don't mean it that way. I genuinely didn't see you. If I know you and I see you in public, I will stop and say hi. If I see you, I really will. I'm a nice person. But those blinders, I've had to put them on because so many times if I don't have them on, it gets really overwhelming and can really wear on a person, like I said before. So blinders are a big part of that for me, and it's just, again, like I said, a defense mechanism that I've had to initiate in my life. Another type of staring I've had to deal with was kind of really humorous. So when I'm out and about with people, a lot of times the people I'm with, my mom, my brother, my fiance, whoever it is, a lot of times they'll notice the staring before I do, because like I say, I'll have blinders on, right? And a lot of times I can see that really is bothering them, that other people are staring at me. It makes everybody a little bit uncomfortable, and it's like, hey, stop staring. You know, there's other things to look at. And if you're with me sometimes out in public for the first time, you've never really been out with me in public before, it can be really startling for the amount of attention that people give me just by staring at me. That being said, one time when I was in university, my brother and I were walking from my apartment building to a restaurant, and we were cutting through like an alleyway, and this guy was just like staring at me hard. And my brother at the time had a really bad temper, and he wasn't having it. He wasn't having any of it, and so he was like, hey, stop staring at my sister. And the guy, I'll never forget, the guy whipped around and was like, hey, jerk, your sister's beautiful. Get over it. And I started laughing, whether he was caught staring and he had to quickly come up with a reason why he was staring, or if he genuinely thought I was beautiful. I don't know, but I thought it was hilarious. And the look on my brother's face was priceless. He was kind of taken back. I'm like, oh, I guess I shouldn't have been so quick to judge people. But I mean, if you're around me all the time, staring is par for the course, and you have to become okay with it as much as you can so that you don't draw more attention to the person you're with, if that makes sense. Okay, so this video was a little bit short and sweet, but I thought it was a good follow-up from last week's video on my walking. Because I know a lot of people have seen how I walk now, and that probably opens up a lot of other questions for people. If you have any questions for me or have any video suggestions on what you want to see, please leave it in the comment section down below. Really helpful, more than you'll know. Give this video a big thumbs up if you like this kind of CP related content and you would like to see more. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. I'm still running that promotion where my first 1,000 subscribers, if you subscribe and comment on a video, then you'll be entered to win a $50 Amazon gift card. And that will be running until I hit 1,000 subscribers. All right, thanks for listening to me ramble on today as usual. And until next time, bye-bye.